Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Read Hiveswap Friendsim. We're going to start with Volume 1. My name is, of course, Duhad. I am joined by Belial.
Hi.
Non-Avalis.
Hi!
And Bean.
Hello.
And we're going to be switching, switching roles. Everybody's going to be playing their own characters, and we're going to be switching the role of the main character depending on the volume. This is for anyone for whom this is going to be their first Homestuck experience. Don't worry, this game pretty much is meant to be kind of viewed as a semi-standalone companion piece, so most things are explained, and for those that are not, Nonny here has literally zero clue about anything in this. She's still somewhat convinced that the
Call me right out, why don't you?
Yes. Still somewhat convinced that the trolls are some form of underground demons, so anything
that was my guess from no context!
I know, I'm kidding. The point just being that if anything is like super confusing, Nonny will probably call it out and we'll be able to explain it to them, and then they'll hopefully explain it for the rest of you. Without further ado, we're going to go into Volume 1 of Bloodthirst and Bratwurst with Belial as the narrator and and Nonny as Ardata. And we're going to try and hopefully do this all at the same time, so we'll all be synced up, but I'm hitting the start of the volume, and I'm going to be reading the little introductory bit. You have just crash-landed on a planet called Alternia, and staggered from the smoldering wreckage of your ship. You are now completely alone in a strange world, desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you are desperate for friendship. Won't someone on this godforsaken rock be your buddy? Any weirdo will do. You're not that picky. Hang on. What's this now? Is someone approaching? And we're going to select Ardata.
This is so cute.
Got our priorities in check here.
All right. Take it away, Belial.
Yes, someone is approaching. A strange gray-skinned alien clad in blue. Perhaps they'll make for a good friend.
Dear God. And just what are you supposed to be?
Your stammering reply eventually conveys that you are a lost traveler who is hungry and probably in need of some medical treatment. You're also really lonely and wouldn't mind making a new friend right about now.
Oh. Oh my.
Nonny, you're scary.
Sorry. Come in.
That's good.
Oh, how funny this is. How very droll. You want to be my friend? It's too much, this thing at my doorstep, wishing to know me in any capacity. The hilarity somehow escapes my ability to capture with maniacal laughter. How rare.
You apologize for your presumptuous request. You hang your head, turn around, and begin to walk up.
And just what the fuck do you think you are doing? Who invited you to leave?
You stop in your tracks obediently and turn to face her again. Your possibly broken ribs are throbbing in pain, but this does not strike you as the right moment to exhibit weakness.
It dawns on me that we may have gotten off on the wrong saunterpod. Where are my manners? Ghastly behavior on my part. After all, it isn't your fault you seem to be some sort of hideous freak, is it? And such a tragic creature cannot be held responsible for such a devastating shortfall of social competence. I would weep for you, really, except that crying out of three eyes at once gets a bit messy. So instead, I think I'll be saving my tears for someone less offensively worthless.
You aren't sure if she's inviting you inside, or if she just got you to stay a little longer, so she could insult you some more. You try to remain stoic while your confrontational new friend decides what to do with you. Unfortunately, you sniffle slightly.
Oh. Oh my, oh dear, you're... sad? So amusing to me! Mildly endearing, even? Perhaps I'll decide later if it's endearing. Once I have more information. It's entirely possible I will retroactively decide it's disgusting. But for now, try to put yourself at ease. You completely pitiful fool. Not one more sniffle, Do you understand?
You nod while practicing exemplary control over your nose.
You have gotten yourself so agitated. I wonder why. You have nothing to worry about from me. Of course I will be your friend. Conditionally. I mean, there is a chance the designation will be formalized if you behave in ways I approve of, starting from now. Let's call it friendship in progress. Agreed?
Your heart swells. This is what you've been waiting for, a new friend. Oh gosh, all you have to do now is try not to fuck anything up at all, possibly for many hours.
Come into my hive. This way, after me. You look like you could use nourishment. I don't know what it is that whatever you are eats, generally. But it doesn't matter, you will eat whatever it is I have on hand, if I tell you to. How does that sound?
How does it sound?
So, this game always has, for most arcs, you have 3 endings. One immediate bad ending, and then one much longer term bad ending, and a much longer term good. So for now, we're gonna go through all of them. So we're gonna start by just saying it sounds fine, I guess.
Get the fuck out of my face and never come back!
Rejection.
You rejected me so quickly.
It happens.
But Nonny, you're the one doing
I
rejection.
only wanted to love you.
This is unfortunately a thing that happens also. Alright, here we go. Luckily, also the game auto-saves after every decision.
That's
like
smart.
before every decision, so you can just pop right back and do the other option.
Yeah.
So we're going to pop back there, and we're going to say, it sounds good. I'll do whatever you say.
Obviously, it sounds good. You will definitely enjoy it. You will enjoy everything I provide you with and tell you to do. I can't imagine any sort of negativity or disagreement coming from one of my friends. I will assume that we share this philosophy when it comes to friendship.
You say, oh yes, absolutely. You nod as enthusiastically as you can without abrogating your broken ribs. You consider giving her a thumbs up as well until you realize one of your arms is probably broken too. You'll try to make sure she doesn't notice, though. It would probably leave a bad impression.
Come with me. There's something I need your help with.
You follow her into her hive. It's a bit gloomy in here. You suppose she's going to fix you something to eat soon, as promised. You pass through her kitchen and out the other side to another room. Okay, you guess dinner can wait.
This way. Try not to let any of your broken limbs slow you down. A good friend wouldn't allow such trifling physical ailments to cause me any inconvenience.
Oh, so you guess she does know you're injured. Fair enough. You hobble a little faster through another door into a much darker room. And now down a flight of stairs? It's hard to see. There are torches along the wall ahead. A monstrous noise rumbles below.
Don't mind her. She's just hungry. She's always hungry, though. What's that? You're hungry, too? I have not forgotten. What sort of piece of shit friend do you take me for?
You don't remind her that you're hungry. You thought it, though. Can she read your mind? You hope not. That's going to make this friendship in progress a bit awkward.
Here we are. This is where you will be most useful to me as a friend.
You look around with a sense of relief. You see no sign of whatever hungry thing was grumbling down here. You're less relieved to see several other kids trapped in cages of various shapes and sizes. One of them makes eye contact with you. The boy is the same kind of alien as her, horns and all. He has a dark red symbol on his shirt. His expression seems to plead with you. He struggles to say, "Help." Your new friend looks unamused and twitches her finger. "Help, Blow," he says. "Help, Blow," which I mean hello, of course. Looks like you're the new friend in progress, chosen by the great and beautiful Ardata. She's my savior, my reason for being. I am nothing without her. I'd hollow myself out and let her make a nest inside of me if she'd permitted. You turn away from this boy. You don't want to hear anything he has to say ever again.
Don't mind him. He's always regarded himself as a comedian. Come over here. This is what I need your help with, if you're going to have any value to me as a friend.
You're led to a dank corner of this, well, you're going to call it, like you see it, this dungeon. Your new friend has a dungeon full of sad, suffering children, and presumably a monster lurking somewhere in here as well. It's not ideal. Then again, social beggars like you can't be choosers.
I've been having an awful time with it. You can do it for me. It will save me time.
You look at the thing in question. You doubt she's been having an awful time with it. You doubt this because it's still in its box, looking completely untouched since it was brought down here. It's a box containing a table? A table that looks ominously like it was designed to keep a person strapped to its surface.
I will need you to assemble it. Here's a screwdriver in case you need it. I will assume other required tools are contained within the box.
You take the screwdriver with your non-broken arm. This isn't exactly what you had in mind. You don't know what you had in mind, really. A warm meal and friendly banter, perhaps a sling for your arm, and remedial balm for your ribs. Still, you open the box without protest.
Can I just say that, I was like, oh no, she's so evil, but it amuses me so much that now she's really evil, but she's an evil villain who makes you assemble IKEA furniture.
Yes, that is that is.
This is my.
That is the worst torture imaginable.
That's pretty much the tone of this whole game. It's like
that's great.
like cartoonish villainy involved, like horrifying villainy involved in incredibly mundane and silly things.
Hold on! Before you start, this will make for excellent content. My fans will appreciate this.
She sets up a video recording device on a tripod and points it at you. A video feed comes to life on several monitors just behind you. You see in one corner of a screen an unflattering angle of your torso hunched over the furniture box. Other rectangles contain shots of the other kids in cages around the room. You suppose cameras are pointed at them, too. You had no idea this friendship came with the perk of an instant stardom.
Now you may begin.
She's suddenly sitting in a comfortable-looking chair facing you, and holding a chalice, swishing around some viscous liquid it contains. You have all the parts spread out on the floor, organized according to their labels in the instructions. You try to remember the last time you assembled something like this. You don't recall enjoying it. To be perfectly honest, this doesn't look like it would be fun at all. She frowns conspicuously.
Oh, how sad for you. I'm sorry, is this activity not to your liking?
You reassure her vigorously that no, it actually looks amazing. You love shit like this. It's what you were born for, you say as you swish the screwdriver around, demonstrating your plainly evident skills with the tool. Forget the thing you just thought. Completely arbitrary and wrong thoughts pop in your head all the time. It means nothing, you swear.
Yes, I hear that a lot. Continue.
You open the little bag full of screws. Jesus, there are like 50 screws to this thing. Where could most of these screws possibly even go? Judging from the picture, the table really doesn't seem that complicated. You look at your screwdriver, then study the screws. Every single one requires an Allen wrench. Does this even come with an Allen wrench? The instruction seems to suggest it does. You look around, but don't see one. Did you open the bag too forcefully? Did the Allen wrench go bouncing off into a dark dungeon crevice nearby? Maybe you lost some of the screws too. Damn it. You begin to sweat. Look around nervously. You check underneath one of the parts. No, it's not under there. You grip the screwdriver a little tighter. You wonder what to do next.
Okay, so once again, we're going to go for the bad end first and then the good end. Also, I just want to quickly throw out a small content warning on the next little bit. Nothing too graphic happens, but there's a bit of blood and a bit of, a bit of grisliness. Nothing too serious, but wanted to throw that out to warn anybody who might be squeamish before we continue on into the next little section.
I love that right out the gate, my reintroduction to the channel is voicing like a big mean villain who's now going to like kill some people or something. Like, I'm making a great impression. Thanks, April.
Sorry, Nonny. Nonny is a lovely human being. not like Ardata. Okay, so get the hell out. There is actually the correct option, but we're going to start by saying just do your best at assembling the table. This is what friends are for.
You decide it would be best not to complain about the missing Allen wrench. Your friend would probably consider it bad form. You'll just make do and twist in all the screws by hand as best as you can. Your broken arm isn't making this any easier. You favor the other one and prop pieces into place precariously, leaning against each other while you nudge them into position with your legs so the screw holes align. It's really frustrating work, you're not going to lie. As you are twisting in the first screw, the grooves slip and the screw gets stuck. But you've already turned it too tight. Now it's hard to get it out. You twist in reverse harder, but your fingers slip and the table pieces start to slide. They're going to fall. You react to catch them, but it's too late. The heavier piece tips over and slams you in the broken ribs on its way to the floor. It hits the floor with a bang. The stuck screw pops out and goes bouncing 10 or 15 feet away, settling deep underneath a piece of dungeon furniture. God, you're probably going to need to get that. You hear a light chuckle.
Good. Good.
She takes another sip from her chalice and settles even more comfortably into her chair. Is she enjoying this? You think she's enjoying watching you struggle to put this stupid thing together. Maybe a little too much. Nevertheless, you continue. A friend is a friend, and you don't like to let your friends down. You've committed yourself to this project. You will get the screw out from under there a bit later, maybe when you need the final screw. You turn your attention back to the table pieces and try a different strategy. Place the biggest part, the table platform, flat on the floor. The legs would be pointing upward if they were attached. You position one leg in the right spot, in alignment with the holes. Sit on the table platform and steady the leg with your feet. You grab another screw and concentrate. She sounds so pleased. It's strange, you admit, for watching this sort of activity to make someone so happy. But you also have to admit to taking a certain pride in it. It's wonderful, actually, to feel useful, wanted, important even, if only somewhat menially.
If only somewhat menially.
To a great new friend who has discovered a way for your talents to improve her life. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice one of the caged kids reaching out with his hand. He's concentrating. Then you notice the screw you lost slowly sliding out from it underneath its hiding place. Nice. Everyone's working like a team down here. Ardata does not look at the kid, but sneers a bit. She reaches towards him, and he appears to have trouble breathing. After a moment, you notice the screw slowly slides back under the thing. She releases him from his breathing problems, resumes her pleasant expression, takes another sip from the chalice. You guess that was against the rules. You decide to make a note of it. Your friend runs a tight ship down here. You respect that. About an hour later, you have about all 4 legs on, plus some other accoutrements attached. You wrestle mightily with the thing to get it upright, using your only good arm. It seems she may have forgotten about the final missing screw. You doubt the table needs it. You decide you won't bring it up. You give it a test. Pretty wobbly, since you were only able to tighten the screws with your bare fingers. But again, she doesn't seem to mind. She reclines and has a look on her face, which makes her appear absolutely enamored of your handiwork. She has finished her drink, and the chalice is on the side table. Some awful-looking thing crawls along the floor towards her. It looks like some sort of spider, the size of an average dog. Its abdomen is preposterously large. Actually, I think the huge tick? That's what it looks like. It settles just in front of her. She puts her legs on top of it and crosses them. Settles under their weight and grumbles.
Let's try it out, shall we?
You shrug and sit down on the rather rickety table. You're about to lie down, but she interrupts you.
No. You fool, you absolute fool! What do you think you're doing? That's not what I meant. Get up.
You stand up, embarrassed. Again, without looking at the caged kid, she raises an arm towards him and beckons. He stares blankly and opens his own cage, which apparently wasn't locked. He shuffles vacantly over to your table and lies down on its surface. She looks at you expectantly. You aren't sure what to do.
What? You didn't think I'd be playing table stickball on that thing, did you?
You aren't sure what table stickball is.
Oh, you really are pretty simple, aren't you? It's like a miniature version of arena stickball, played on a table. Got it?
You don't, but you nod.
Now go to it.
You shackle the kid's arms and legs to the table. That seems to be the right thing to do, since the thing comes fitted with shackles. She gets up and lifts her huge tick-like pet, makes more grumpy noises. She plops the enormous thing right down on the kid's chest. He appears rendered unable to protest. The tick bites the boy's neck and begins to feed. She smiles and pats its swelling abdomen. Dark rust-colored blood dribbles from the place where it has attached to the boy's neck. Moments go by while she looks gratified at the process, proud almost. Then she looks at you expectantly.
Well,
You don't know what she means.
the final screw. Aren't you going to retrieve it and screw it into wherever it needs to go? The job isn't done. I don't keep the company of many individuals who leave things unfinished, you know.
Of course. What were you thinking? You should have known your friend wouldn't let that go unnoticed. Actually, you feel like an idiot for thinking it would. You stoop very low to the ground, on your knees, placing your cheek just above the floor. You peer under the large edifice. It's dark in there, and goes back a ways. Lots of room for the darn little screw to roll. You take a few pitiful swipes with your good arm, but come up empty. It must be further back. You think you can see it? Yeah, that must be it. Just a little further. You have an idea? A tool would be handful. Guess the screwdriver will come in handy after all. How did she know? Your new friend must be very wise. You think you're liking her more every minute. You grab the screwdriver and feel around for it. Yeah, yes. You got it. You think. You carefully scrape it closer to yourself and then pick it up. You then go back to the table and find the one remaining hole you left unscrewed. You slide under the table as a mechanic would with a car. There it is. The table is creaking and wobbling quite a bit now. The tick is really getting into its dinner, it seems. All the loose screws in the table have added up to a lot of give and leeway in the overall stability of the furnishing. Maybe the final screw will help. Ardata has returned to the setup with the monitors. She's adjusting some settings on the feed, controlling the zoom of the camera and typing some remarks into a chat window.
This is very good material today. It's not often that I can provide content of this caliber to my subscribers. Go on, complete your project. This will be very good.
You still think it's weird that she likes watching you put furniture together so much, but you're not one to judge friends. Sounds like a great way to lose friends, honestly. You screw in the final screw, but the stresses on the table are causing the holes to be misaligned. This won't be easy. The huge tick shifts its grotesque body above you, causing the table to creak loudly. You nervously slide halfway out from under the table to check it out. Then a loud pop. Then the sound of scraping metal. 6 or 7 screws shoot out of the desk like rivets in a sinking submarine. What a piece of shit this thing is, you think a little too late. You really needed that Allen wrench. All 4 legs spray dramatically out from underneath it at once, like a baby deer on ice. The table platform comes crushing down on your lower torso, breaking your pelvis. You bellow in pain and flail to put yourself out. You forget that you're still holding the screwdriver. In your desperate flailing, you plunge the screwdriver into the fat abdomen of the tick, which begins gushing rust blood with great force, spraying your entire upper body and face. The beast starts thrashing wildly and screaming. You can't see your new friend due to the blood in your eyes, but you can't imagine she's thrilled about what's going on here. Your annihilated pelvis is in perfect agony. You have to get your miserable torso out from under the shitty table. You have an idea. With your broken arm, you start slapping the big ass of the screaming tick. While yelling, "Yeehaw!" you clutch the screwdriver handle with your other hand hard. The blood-gushing monster starts kicking and rearing, then blasts off across the dungeon floor like a pig at a rodeo. You hold on for dear life, still blind, but your plan works. You've been pulled out from under the tomb you've spent the last hour constructing for yourself. Your pelvis is in ruins, but at least you're free now, and riding like the wind. As you and the blood-spewing tick go rearing around the room, crashing into stuff, you hear a boy crying. You guess Ardata became distracted enough by your foolish display to cease her paralyzation method on him. Or maybe distracted is the wrong word. Maybe she's disappointed by your foolishness? Oh God, you might be blowing it right now. The tick swerves suddenly and starts running up the stairs. Ow, ow, ow. Your brittle pelvis feels every step on the way up. It careens through the rest of the hive, crashes through the front door, then comes to a sudden halt. You're catapulted violently over its backside and sail 50 yards through the air. Land on your ass and wipe the blood from your eyes. Okay, this was embarrassing, but everyone makes mistakes, right? You can still salvage this friendship. You know you can. You turn back to look at the hive. Ardata is standing with a curious look on her face. She's flipping you off.
You will not be my friend!
Rejection.
R-E-J-E-C-T-E-D rejected.
I have one reaction to this so far, and that is weird flex, but okay!
You know what? That's a fair point. You're probably going to keep having that reaction for a bit.
Whoever wrote this game, there are several weird flexes already, and we're like not even all the way in yet. So that's fun.
It's a
I have learned about kinks I never even knew existed before.
Fair enough. Okay, so now we go down the good route, which is actually ironically running away.
Oh no!
Get the hell out of there.
That happens a lot.
Yes.
First, you clear your head and try to think innocent thoughts. Fluffy clouds in the sky, ironing some clothes, a winning touchdown pass from the sports. Ardata's long black hair spilling over her cloak, Wait. These are not innocent thoughts. Shut it down. Shut it down. There's no time for thinking. You have to act. You hurl the screwdriver at her and run. She calmly lifts a hand towards one of the kids in the cages. The kid tenses up and lifts a hand in the direction of the screwdriver. The screwdriver freezes midair, right in front of Ardata's head. You run up the stairs. She twitches a finger. The kid caged kid does a full body spasm, and the screwdriver goes sailing towards you. It stabs deep into your leg, and you buckle over, tumbling backwards down the stairs. You're a crumpled heap at the bottom of the stairs, bleeding, and you think your arm is broken in 2 places now.
That didn't seem very friendly to me. Luckily for you, I'm very determined to make relationships work. Even ones with people who flee simple furniture assembly projects.
She stands over you. You attempt to pull the screwdriver out of your leg, but your entire body locks up. You can't move. She holds an outstretched hand just above you.
You shouldn't try to move yet. And you certainly shouldn't try to pull out that screwdriver. You'll get blood everywhere. To my 3 little eyes, under the present conditions, it seems to me that only one of us should attempt walking up these stairs.
You feel relieved. Perhaps she has some alien means of levitating you up the stairs? Wait. No. Your body is tensing up again. It's moving without your permission. You get to your feet without taking the screwdriver out. Wow, that hurts. Wow, is she making you... Wait. What? She can't be. You use both of your arms and all your strength and pick her up entirely. The pain from your arm is excruciating. Arms with broken bones are not meant for heavy lifting. The additional weight on your wounded leg isn't great either. You hold her as a groom would hold a bride. She wraps her arms around your neck to hang on to you in what strikes you as an overly familiar manner. She looks directly into your eyes and grins.
This is better. Now, onward and upward, new friend.
Your legs begin to operate without your consent. They wobble and struggle under the weight. The wound throbs. You lumber back up the long flight of stairs, carrying her all the way. You take her back to the kitchen and set her down in a chair, seated at a table.
You didn't think I'd forget about dinner time, did you? Let's put your unfriendly behavior behind us. It's a good thing for you that I'm benevolent enough to overlook disgusting acts of betrayal. You may have noticed I keep several friends in my hive who I have similarly forgiven. Consider the transgression, blood beneath the abattoir.
You exhale. Now that she mentions it, yes, you are hungry. Maybe a warm meal will lift your spirits and get this heretofore turbulent friendship back on track. Maybe you'll even get the chance to pull this screwdriver out of your leg. You pull out a chair and attempt to sit down, but your legs lock up and then you stand again. Apparently this was not the right thing to do.
Oh, but why are you sitting? There's cooking to be done.
You stagger mechanically over to the fridge and open it. You pull out a large hawk of some sort of alien mystery meat and put it on the counter. With your broken arm, you reach in anguish for a big dangling meat cleaver. You drop the hawk, wincing with each swing of the cleaver. You place the sliced meat in a frying pan, sear it lightly, and serve it on a plate very rare, just the way your new friend likes it. You didn't know that's the way she likes it, but you surmise this is what she prefers in a piece of meat, since technically she is the one doing the cooking. You put it on the table in front of her, along with a fork and knife beside you. Your muscles relax as you apparently are allowed to control your own body again. She does nothing, except for look at you with a pleased expression. You eye the meat in front of her, then the meat on the counter, and the chair on the other side of the table. What should you do? Prepare a plate for yourself? Is that what she wants you to do?
Well, it looks like you're confused. Isn't it obvious what to do next, under your own volition? A good friend would know what to do. In fact, I don't think a good friend would take nearly as long to decide what the right thing to do next is. It actually seems to me that a very rude friend would hesitate for as long as you are hesitating. Or perhaps someone who is not a friend at all?
You begin to sweat again. You clearly don't have much time to make up your mind. If you waited for even a few seconds longer, you will probably be guilty of being a bad friend, maybe even a dreadful one. That's not the type of person you like to think you are. What will you do?
Well, Peter.
This
Obviously.
feels like the only obvious thing to do. She's looking up at you quite expectantly. You reach for the fork with your good arm. You go for the knife with your other. Ow. You can't do it. The arm is much less serviceable when the muscles are not being forced by a psychic override to disregard the pain response. Nevertheless, she looks at you patiently and smiles. That's nice of her, you think. Not to be mad about it. You feel like you're growing much closer to your new friend by the minute. You put the fork down and pick up the knife with your good arm. You cut the meat into several pieces with a careful sawing motion. You put the knife down and pick up the fork and stab it. Put it close to her mouth. She sees.
Very good. Nice technique. Well-sized morsels, too.
She chews the meat with excellent form. She has very good table manners, you think. When she finishes the pieces, you slice off some more and continue. The meat looks very good. Your mouth is watering, but she doesn't offer any. Oh well. When it's the right time for you to eat too, you're sure she will let you know. The meal is finished. There's no more meat, except for a few pieces of unchewable gristle. If you did not try to feed her, that would be thoughtless, very bad service. She reclines and steeples her fingers, looking quite pleased with how the evening has gone so far. You aren't sure why she's laughing. Could you do something funny?
Oh my! What a fool!
You point at yourself, wondering if she is referring to you. You don't know what you've done that was foolish. If so, you're also not sure what she finds so amusing. She pauses her laughter for a minute or two, then slowly begins to frown. A faint blue tear rolls down her cheek from her bottom eye.
The truth is, I don't even know why I'm laughing. This isn't very funny, what's happening here. It was a good dinner. You did a good job, whoever you are.
She puts her face in both of her hands and sobs quietly. You have no idea what to do about this. You stand there, still holding the fork, feeling a bit useless.
There is a lot of pressure, you know. Being so respected and admired for your high status in this world. I didn't ask for this, to be so superior to so many. Much is expected of you. Much is presumed about what your personality will be before you even develop one. You work hard and build a brand based only on what you think people will assume you should be like. Sometimes I wonder, am I even that good at being sinister? Could I be more sinister if I tried harder? Maybe this is not my true calling after all.
You begin to offer words of sympathy. This seems heartbreaking to you, your poor new friend, but your jaw muscles contract and your mouth shuts involuntarily. You guess it's not your turn to speak yet. Okay, that works for you. You like to be a good listener to your friends.
But what would happen if I changed my brand? If I stopped being so sinister online? My friends and followers will deride and reject me. And my superiors will eat me alive. If I show weakness, if I scale back on my bloodthirsty content, Will I incur the scorn of a wise-ass clown with 100 million subscribers? Will I be in a cage someday, listening to a fucking tool honk his horn for likes? No, I must persist. How lonely it is to know this is all I can do until the day I leave this planet. I have no material or sensory comforts left for me here. Until I can get on a ship and fly away, pain is my only solace.
Your hand holding the fork grips it tighter. You're horrified to realize what it is in the process of doing. You bring it down hard on her hand, which is placed flat on the table. She doesn't flinch or react in any way. 3 trails of cerulean blood flow from the tines where they pierced her skin. That wasn't friendly, you think, but then you weren't the one who did it, were you? You're so confused.
My subscribers are not real friends. They adore me only for my sinister content, the show I provide, my wicked, infectious laughter. I get jealous of them sometimes, because they get to watch my content. It must be thrilling, I think, but maybe I'm just jealous of them because they get to be people who aren't me. This is so fucking deep. I know. Apologies if you cannot relate.
She pulls the fork out of her hand and lays it gently on the plate of gristle you didn't feed her.
The people downstairs in their cages aren't my friends either. They act like they're my friends, though, and sometimes I even believe it a little. But they don't really want to be friends with me. Nobody does. The only person who has ever really wanted to be my friend, who's ever tried to be, is you.
You clear your throat and point to yourself innocently.
That's it. I've decided. You have passed the test. You will become my friend. Officially. As such, I think a reward is in order.
You're overjoyed. Your heart starts racing. You can't believe it. A new, real friend. But you don't have much time to enjoy this achievement. Your body is doing something again. You bend down in a strained motion and pick up the plate and fork. You position the plate over your wide-open mouth and scrape it all in the remaining grizzle and begin chewing. It's virtually inedible. Your mouth humors the act of chewing for 2 seconds, and then you swallow all of it whole in one painful gulp. Tastes like friendship.
Friendship!
This is such a weird game!
Yes. It is very strange.
Honestly, an arrow game would have been so much less weird than this. I feel so dirty.
Well, just you wait, because when we come back, we're going to be exploring the adventures of a little boy who loves hot dogs a lot.
Can we break for just a second?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We're going to take a little break,
Okay,
and we'll see
then
you
we can
guys
just
after.
cut it. I'll be right back.